Hey guys, how's it going today? So, before I even start, I'm going to let you know that this wound up being a two-part video. So, if you're going to watch this video, please watch the next one, which will follow the next day. Like I said, I just kind of really got involved in this a little bit more than I was expecting. And it's kind of funny, too, because the whole thing started was that I was just sitting down to draw what I was thinking about doing the next day. And then I started to use my inks and I started to fill it in. And then I realized, well, you know what? I'm going to show more of this process. And next thing you know, two-part video. Yeah. So sit back, watch the video. If you don't mind hitting the like button, I love that. Subscribe, of course. And the bell for notification, because you never know when my mind just went and I have to do something and put it on the line. See you at the end of the video. Oh, I'm getting excited. Hey guys. So what I got here is a half drawing, and I'm going to finish the rest so you guys can watch it. But basically what it was is that I've been taking a course which was through Domestika, and the artist who is the teacher is Redmer Hoekstra.
The Surrealistic Fineliner Illustration course on Domestika by the artist Redmer Hoekstra.
So anyways, I've been following the course, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's really helped me in, producing some stuff here. And I've done, this kind of work for a long time, but it really kind of reassured me that I was doing a fairly decent job. And with seeing what he does, I can even do more. I just have to teach myself to be more patient. So anyways, I'm going to work this side. And what it is a little monster. I wanted to paint a monster. I have no idea why. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to make a painting out of it. So it's probably going to be two videos. So probably what you're going to get is this, and then maybe me starting it on the second part, right? Which I think is what's going to happen. So I kind of started this monster, and he turned into Cockroach Monster, and I kind of like him. And so like I said, I'm just going to finish this up for you guys to see me doing it. And then the markers I'm using, or the types of markers, are the micro, Pigma micro, and that's a 005 or 0.5, whatever you call it. And then I've got the 8.0, and then the 1.0, and I think he actually suggests that you use the 3. I just can't seem to find a 3 right now. So definitely need a 3. So anyways, I'm going to get started on that. Stop banging the table, Paul. Getting it started on this one right here. So watch this and see how that develops. And I think my monster looks pretty cool. And like I said, I'm going to do the second half of him now. And then I'm going to transfer him onto wood for a painting, because I just want to see how that's going to look too. All right, guys? Okay, so let's get started. And I'm going to go find those other pens. Alright guys, so my monster cockroach is done. I wasn't expecting it to be a cockroach, but it turned out that way. So what I was going to say is that sometimes people look at this kind of stuff and they're like, oh, I can't draw like that. Or, how do you draw with just a marker? For me, I've actually had to kind of go backwards. I had to start going back to using pencil again. For a long time, I have not used pencil. When I draw the way I normally draw, without the shading and that kind of stuff, is for me to draw is something like a line, and all I have to do is start working with my lines. And when I start working with my lines, I can literally just start developing stuff, right, with a marker. And so I do a lot of drawings where I have very little in the way of an actual sketch, because it's kind of what I like to do is this free, open kind of drawing. But one of the things that also is that sometimes I like to do different looks and different styles. And also developing the work that I do, I sometimes want to add a little touch of depth to it. So one of the things I was going to point out to you is that if you're thinking to yourself, well, how do you just grab the pen and start drawing like that? One of the things is, of course, it's going to be practice. Of course, I do tons and tons of drawing. I've been doing that all my life. But when it gets back to doing it like this, right? One of the things is that, you look at shading and stuff like that. Well, you just think about your direction, right? Okay, there's a light coming from here, there's a light coming from here. Those are very important. But if you're just starting, don't even think about that. Don't even try. You know what I do? I would say sit down and grab yourself your marker and just go back and forth. That's it. Just do that. Practice with your brain. Just that little bit. There you are. Then go, okay, I can make it thinner. I can make it bigger. Thinner. Bigger. I think I'll go over here somewhere. Try again. Dun, 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 dun. But don't worry about it. Just one piece of paper. Right? Back and forth. Back and forth. Then, if you want, say to yourself, okay, I'm going to take a line. I'm going to draw another line. People always say, well, I can't even draw a straight line. I hear that all the time. Oh, you're an artist. Oh, I can't even draw a straight line. Well, to be honest, as an artist, straight lines are generally something I don't draw a lot of. A lot of my lines are curves, right? But in practice, you can just sit there and do that, right? And all you're doing is just training your brain to say, okay, I'm going to go this far, stop. I'm going to do a line here, stop. Do a line here, stop. Oh, I need this to be a little bit wider. So then you start to train your hand, your brain, all at the same time, right? Oh, I think I'm just going to follow. Oh, I'm going to do a straight line right across there. And then I'm going to start doing little sidelines, right? But the thing is, you're practicing that. You keep practicing that. And that'll help you, right? And the thing, too, is that as you do this, and I would say spend hours just doing this. Don't do a drawing. Don't do a drawing. Do this. Just this nice little simple, okay, back and forth, 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 stop. Go forward. Circle. Right? So you do these kind of things where you just practice this kind of drawing. That really helps. So I thought I'd throw this in here just to kind of give you guys an idea of sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this. These are the things how I've learned how to teach myself to do. And then the other thing too is the courses have really helped. The course that I'm taking right now, actually I haven't done a lot of the actual projects in it, but actually listening to the gentleman talk has actually been just as good for me as actually doing the little courses that he's talking about. Because he's talking about, things like, you draw a ball and you draw the shade on the one side and that. But for me, I think sometimes, or for anybody, is maybe best to take away all of that and just sit and just kind of back and forth scribble. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now I've filled that section. Oh, okay, I'm going to turn it a little bit that way. Right? If you fill a whole page like this, like just scribbles, don't worry, right? Just constant scribbles, back and forth, like that. All of a sudden you can start to see stuff and you start to go, oh, well, let's say somebody said to me, Paul, can you draw a spider? Okay, spider. Okay, 8 legs, okay. It's got a body section. And then you start to take these little pieces, right? And you can actually make something. And then you start to see yourself actually following what the direction is of that thing that you're drawing. You start to get the pen on top of it, right? You're actually feeling it, right? You feel a little curve, a little ditch in here that makes it a little bit bigger. Oh, and there's got little spinnerets. And that's also through knowledge of something too. So that's not the best spider drawing, but it is a spider drawing, right? The thing too is, like I say, back and forth, just teaching yourself to do that. It's not that hard to just scribble for a couple of hours, right? But it helps in getting that development so that all of a sudden you start going, oh, you know what? I'm going to draw an eyeball. And, okay, so this guy's going to have his nose down here, right? You know, I'm not worried about proportions, right? I'm just trying to get that feeling across, and it works. Okay, he's got his hair, he's pretty wild, right? Now, in this period of time, I've made a little drawing, made a little drawing. And I say, you take your pen and you just do a line, do another line, do another line, do another line. Okay, this one here, not all the way, right? And if you have to talk to yourself, who cares, right? But that's the thing. For me, getting back to doing starting the YouTube thing has really actually helped me in going back to some of my basics that I do, because I never really was having to challenge myself to show people. Now I'm putting it on film and saying, here, this is what I do, right? So, as I say, it doesn't take very long before you start to say to yourself, well, okay, part of this is training my brain, and then the rest is just me putting out how I feel. You know, I felt angry. Oh, okay. Well, how do I do that? Okay. Angry, right? I'm happy. Wow, these are so simple, right? But then to make it more interesting, I can add a little something to it, right? So there you are. Oh, add some ears, right? He's got a nice little nose, right? He's a good, smiley, happy kind of guy. Or is he? Maybe. He's kind of evil. Oh, now we've changed everything. All it is lines, right? You just change a few things and everything can change. So anyways, what I wanted to do, because I got off track here, is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to transfer it onto a piece of wood, and I am going to do a painting. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show, I just keep banging the table. I'm going to show you guys how I do the transfer part, which is not that hard. And then I'll paint it, and we'll see what a huge difference is. That's another thing that I like to show people is, you know, art, if you do it, you know, in black and white, it's one way. If you do it in color, it's another way. The expression changes, everything changes. You know, nothing drives me crazy when somebody says, oh, I saw a movie, but it's not like the book. Of course it's not like the book, right? If I do a watercolor and I do an oil painting, they're not the same. They're different, right? So how can you compare them, right? You know, I mean, you can compare them, but how do you say, like, oh, well, it's not exactly the same, right? Well, yeah, of course, you know, black and white drawn as to a painting is going to look different. And that's why I want to do this. I'm going to show you my black and white drawing, and then I'm going to show you it as a painting, right? So there you go. So let's get on with that before I keep on babbling. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so I got my piece of wood, and I noticed something right off the bat that I did a boo-boo, and that is, I consider, I think this wood is not going to cover the whole thing. So thank God for being able to photocopy it and make it smaller. So I'm going to run off to photocopy and make it smaller. All right, guys. So what I got here is I've got my picture, and I reduced it. I reduced it by 80%. And then I have my transfer paper. And then all I'm going to simply do here is this part here is line this up, get it all figured out how centered I want it. And that, and then I will then take it and push down on it with something like a pen or a pen, or a pen or a pen. Yeah, a pen or a pen. So anyways, I'll take a pen and I will actually trace it all out and give myself an idea of how I want it to look, and then we'll go from there. So I did transfer it over onto the wood. Now I did make a little bit of a mistake, and that was I should have probably gessoed the board first. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably wind up just doing a light gesso on it instead, and work from there. It's not that big of a deal. And then I think for the background on this one here, I'd like to make it a little bit drabby looking, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add garbage and stuff like that all around him, because he is, you know, a giant cockroach monster that likes his garbage. I don't know, maybe I'll add something in here on the foreground. But that's it. I think I've got it basically done. So now it'll be just a light, or you know what? Actually, what I might do is actually spray it with some Fix-It, which workable Fix-It. If you spray it, you can still keep working and painting on top. You just do a light coating, and that way you don't get a lot of smudging. But in actual fact, I don't think there's a lot of smudging with this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think I'll just do like I said, a light gesso on the back. Or maybe just take some paint and smear it on there so it sets, and then I can start to work. There we are. Booyah, booyah. There you are. I just took that, made a light wash, and I just spread that across. That'll dry up so that basically while I'm painting, I'm not going to wind up getting smudge marks and stuff like that. So there you are. It's really pretty simple and pretty straightforward. And like I say, I just make sure that I kind of have it well covered and that's it. So not that hard. Oh, by the way, a moment of laziness. I sat down and realized I did not have any water. So I grabbed my coffee and poured a little bit into a cup, and that was my base, was coffee. So there's a little bit of coffee in the cockroach monster. There you are. So far, we're almost there, and now tomorrow will be the actual painting. But you've seen the drawing, so you've seen it come to life that way. Now, hopefully, you'll watch and see it come to life as a painting. And I think it'll work out really well. So, make this quick and fast. Remember, be cool like a big bull moose. And always wear your pants.